Hey, it's Alan, and I just wanted to let you know that you can now listen to the ongoing history of new music early and ad-free on Amazon Music, included with Prime. Before we begin, I want to let you know about a new show from Curious Cast that I think you might really enjoy. It's called Russia Rising. Putin's Russia has been accused of using internet trolls and hackers and even assassins to influence the West. This new investigative podcast hopes to unravel this giant mystery with the help of those who know best: Russian trolls, hackers, Putin supporters, even a former Russian KGB agent. Join Europe Bureau Chief of Global News, Jeff Semple. He goes on a journey to unravel how Russia has gone from tenuous ally to a potential global threat. You can listen to Russia Rising for free at curiouscast.ca or wherever you're enjoying the ongoing history of new music. Do it. Trust me, you'll love it. One of the occupational hazards of my job is I run across all kinds of facts, bits of data, pieces of knowledge that don't have any immediate practical application. For example, I ran across this piece of royal etiquette. The British royals are forbidden from playing Monopoly, as in the board game. I have no idea why, but this apparently is a hard and fast rule. If you have a cat, you know all about hairballs. The technical term for a hairball is a bezoar. Still with animals, there's a psychological disorder called Boanthropy. This is when a person believes they are a cow and tries to live their lives accordingly. What do you think the most popular item sold at Wal-Mart is? It's bananas. Wal-Mart sells more bananas than anything else in its inventory. Astronauts cannot burp in space. That's because the lack of gravity means all the gases in your stomach get mixed with the liquids and solids instead of separating out. So if you tried to burp, everything would come out at the same time. Kind of like throwing up in your mouth. So, where do the gastric gases go? Out the other end. And before you ask, no, you cannot use that to propel yourself through the International Space Station. Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield tried that, and he reports that the thrust produced isn't enough to create the requisite Newtonian shift in vector. I have more of this kind of stuff, but I think you get the idea. This brings me to the topic of this program. When researching ongoing history episodes in my blog, I always come across pieces of information that are, if not useless, very close to being so. But much of this stuff is just too weird, too fascinating, too fun to ignore. So once a year, it has become my habit to conduct a big data dump of this information. What you do with what I'm about to tell you is completely up to you. This is the annual show I call 60 Mind-Blowing Facts About Music in 60 Minutes.
This is the Ongoing History of New Music podcast with Alan Cross.
Welcome again, I'm Alan Cross, and this is another edition of the annual program where you, dear listener, are bombarded with facts about music that are of no practical use, at least as far as my work is concerned. All of this information was uncovered during the process of researching the ongoing history of new music, but ended up being completely orphaned. But that doesn't mean that you might not figure out some application for this knowledge. At the very least, it's fun to know stuff like this, and it's certainly very good for winning bar bets and dazzling your friends. So, let us begin with the first of 60 mind-blowing facts about music over the next 60 minutes. And I'm warning you, things are going to zig and zag a lot. Let's start with the first 7. We'll start with cheese. In Bergdorf, Switzerland, there's a cheesemaker named Beat Wampfler who's on a mission to create the best-tasting Emmenthal cheese. To do that, he bombards his maturing cheese with music from Led Zeppelin to techno. He doesn't know why it makes his cheese taste better, and he has no scientific data to back it up, but he swears it works. Number 2. It's well known that Alex James, the bass player for Blur, is a master cheesemaker. His farm is in the Cotswolds in the UK on a road he calls Stephen Street, in honor of producer Stephen Street, who produced albums for Blur, the Cranberries, the Smiths, and many others. I couldn't find it on Google Maps, but it is a private road. Remember the 80s hit Electric Avenue from Eddie Grant? There really is such a road. Actually, there's a bunch of them, all inspired by the song, but the original Electric Avenue is in Brixton, England. Number 4, Metallica has a whiskey blend that gets its distinctive taste from being subjected to ultra-low sound waves. It's a patent-pending sonic enhancement process called black noise. The master distiller says that this does something to the molecular interaction of all the various chemicals in the whiskey and has an effect on its finish. Number 5, approximately 12% of all Mozart's letters to friends and associates had at least one reference to poop in it. Some of the lyrics to his music, and yes, he did write lyrics, also talked about poop, requiring other people to make changes. If you're interested, Google Lick My Arse Symphony. Mozart was very scatological, something that, say, was linked to a case of Tourette's. Number 6, Masami Tashiya used to play guitar in a synth pop band called Japan. His Wikipedia page says he married his cat at a Japanese theme park in 2017. And number 7, the last time I did a show like this, I mentioned something about the Killers' drinking schedule. I reported that they drank Absolute Vodka and Maker's Mark Bourbon Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and tequila and Jameson's on Sunday. Listener Jeff has filled in the rest of the week, saying that it's Jack Daniels and gin Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Let's pause here for this message from the Killers. Killers and Spaceman from the Day and Age album. All right, more facts, resuming with number 8. Competition for attention is so tough in the music business these days that sometimes you have to resort to gimmicks to get your name out there, and the more clever you are, the better. Back in 2011, the Montreal band Chromeo announced that they were about to release the world's smallest album. They said this record called Drive Time featured 55 songs, and the whole thing was over in 183 seconds. What? Well, this turns out to be a series of sounds of Nokia and the navigation system on their phones. Not exactly an album, really, but they did issue a red vinyl 5-inch single that contained multiple versions of 2 songs. Apparently only 40 copies were made, so they actually might be rather collectible today. Number 9, Matt Skiba of Blink-182 can be seen playing an extra in The Dark Knight. Number 10, although technology on Earth has advanced dramatically since the Voyager spacecraft were launched, the 2 spacecraft are frozen, technologically speaking, because they were sent on their missions with the best equipment available at the time, including an 8-track tape recorder for data storage, believe it or not, and they have stood the test of time. While time moves forward here on Earth, aboard the Voyager spacecraft, it will always be 1977. Number 11, according to a medical study in the UK, dancing makes you more intelligent. A single salsa lesson can boost your understanding, focus, and memory by as much as 18%. And number 12, while Dandy Warhol's keyboardist Zia McCabe was waiting for the band to reunite, she reinvented herself as a successful real estate agent in Portland, Oregon. 'Cause I like you, yeah, I like you, and I feel it's so bohemian like you, yeah, I like you, yeah, I like you, and I feel, whoa. Dandy Warhols featuring keyboardist and real estate agent Zia McCabe. Back to our list of 60 mind-blowing facts about music in 60 minutes. We will pick things up with number 13. Dolly Parton founded an organization called the Imagination Library. Since it began, she's donated 100 million books to children. Number 14, rap battles go back as far as the 5th century in England and Scotland with the practice of something called flyting, F-L-Y-T-I-N-G. These are verbal throwdowns of clever and insulting verses sent back and forth between combatants. Here's an example. Grey-visaged gallows bird, out of your wits gone wild, loathsome and lousy as wet as a cress, since you with worship would so fain be styled, hey, Monsignor, your balls droop below your dress. Seriously. Number 15. One day in April 1930, a BBC newscast went like this. The announcer came on and said, "There is no news." This was followed by several minutes of piano music. And number 16, Outkast created a very big problem for a camera company with the song Hey Ya. There's a line that encourages people to shake it like a Polaroid picture, which is what some people insist on doing while waiting for the photo to develop. Don't do that. Polaroid actually had to release a statement saying shaking or waving can actually damage the image.
Y'all don't want to hear me, you just want to dance. Don't want to meet your daddy.
Back to our list of 60 mind-blowing facts about music. We are up to number 17. Elvis Presley's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, was always looking for a way to make a buck. When he and Elvis went into hostile territory, he sold "I Hate Elvis" buttons to haters. Made a fortune. Number 18. In November 2018, police stormed the headquarters of Sony Music in London, England. The building was evacuated and streets were closed. What happened? Two chefs working in the catering department got into a fight and went at each other with knives. There were injuries, but nobody was killed. Wu-Tang Clan has branched further into merchandising. They now sell several shades of lipstick. And number 20, there is a singing black hole. A supermassive black hole in the Perseus cluster, which is a group of galaxies about 250 million light years away. It emits a super deep acoustic wave. And just so you know, it's a B-flat, 57 octaves below middle C. That's bass. And it's the perfect excuse to play this one for Muse. We have completed 1/3 of our 60 mind-blowing facts about music scheduled for this hour. In a moment, we'll pick things up with number 21 and eventually work our way to why your dog prefers reggae. Welcome back to an annual program called 60 Mind-Blowing Facts About Music in 60 Minutes. This is a chance for me to clear all the Post-it notes off my desk, each featuring some scribbled factoid that I found but didn't know what to do with. Since I can't let any knowledge go to waste, I'm presenting these gems to you, and you can do with them what you wish. Let's get back to the countdown with fact number 21. We're all in a big hurry these days, propelled forward by the stresses of life. Even classical music isn't immune to this. A 2018 study says that classical music performances and recordings are up to 30% faster than they were 60 years ago. Number 22, when a panda is interested in having sex, it sings. Okay, the sound of a male panda is more like a bleat, but as far as the female panda is concerned, it's sweet, sweet music. Number 23, a group of Russian hackers known as Turla used comments posted to Britney Spears' official Instagram account to gain access to servers, which then allowed them to offload stolen data to and from infected computers. Number 24, and on a related note, in 2014, DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, which is based inside the Pentagon, was funded to analyze tweets sent out by Lady Gaga and Justin Bieber. They were looking for linguistic cues, patterns of information flow, and detection of sentiment or opinion in information spread through social media. In other words, DARPA thought that some of these tweets might have been fake and were being used to influence public opinion through social media. Number 25. Ozzy Osbourne contracted a near-fatal infection in 2018. After a manicure, his thumb became so infected that it reached the size of a light bulb. He had to be hospitalized and pumped full of antibiotics so he wouldn't lose his hand. Number 26. In early 2018, Jessica Simpson was sued for posting a picture of herself on Instagram. The photo was snapped and then copyrighted by a photographer, giving him all the rights to the use of the photo. And because Jessica didn't ask him if she could post that picture of herself, he sued. Number 27. When Target stores first opened in Canada in 2013, the first CD appears to have been sold in Guelph, Ontario. And it was a Michael Bolton CD. Number 28. Barbra Streisand cloned her dog Samantha. The result was 2 new dogs. And number 29, and still with dogs, you may already know that your dog will respond to certain kinds of music. There has actually been plenty of scientific study into this area, as dog people are looking to help animals with separation anxiety, animals that are hyperactive or are scared of thunderstorms. It turns out that dogs gravitate towards music most in tune with their own heartbeat, and science has determined that the perfect music for dogs is reggae, especially Bob Marley. Picking up our list of mind-blowing facts, number 30, we have this. And this kind of relates to that last song. Birds sing in their sleep. Who knew? Number 31. In early 2018, somebody bought a paperclip once owned by Elvis Presley. They paid $3,000 for it. Number 32. By the time you hear this, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary may have declared that metal can be used as an adjective, as in, that dude is so metal. Number 33. Liam Gallagher claims that when he got into a brawl in a German bar in 2002, local police pulled a bunch of teeth out of his head with pliers while he was unconscious in retaliating for starting the fight. Number 34. Jay-Z spent $8 million on a single car. It's a custom-made Maybach Excelero. Never heard of that model? Me neither, and I'm a car guy. Number 35. This guy from the UK did not read the gig ad properly. He bought a ticket for around $50 to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers play in Dublin. And when he got there, he was confused by all the people wearing kilts. Turns out that he bought a ticket to see the Red Hot Chili Pipers, also known as the world's best bagpipes band. Let this be a lesson, kids. Read the gig poster carefully.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Oh yeah. Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
Continuing with 60 mind-blowing facts about music in 60 minutes, we have reached number 36. A theater in Stockholm launched an opera production performed entirely in Klingon. It was called Kronos. And yes, they did serve gach in the theater. Number 37. Toto, the Japanese bathroom fixtures company, has a toilet that comes with something called the sound decorator, which electronically masks any embarrassing bathroom sounds, if you know what I mean. Number 38. There is a radio station in rural England that does not play music. All it offers is the sound of wildlife and the local environment around the area of Dartmoor. Number 39. Speaking of radio stations, 23 outlets in Uganda were shut down by the government on charges of promoting and advertising witchcraft. And number 40. When you're a rich rock star, you get to indulge in whatever hobbies you like. New Order drummer Stephen Morris collects military vehicles. So if you need a tank or a troop carrier for the weekend, you can talk to Stephen.
What the hell is happening? I can't think of everything. I don't know what day it is or who I'm talking to.
New Order, featuring military vehicle historian and collector drummer Stephen Morris. This is the final segment of a show called 60 Mind-Blowing Facts About Music in 60 Minutes. This is stuff that turned up in my research over the past 12 months that for some reason, well, I think the reasons are obvious, never found a home anywhere. And if you've been listening, you're probably not surprised about all that. We continue with item number 41. Drake has a pair of solid gold Air Jordans that are worth at least $2 million US. I think that says somebody has way too much money. Number 42. Here's a reason to keep your iPhone away from your kid. A toddler from Shanghai kept poking at his mom's locked iPhone and hitting numbers at random. And you know how the more wrong passcodes you punch in, the longer the phone will lock you out? Well, this kid managed to lock mom out of her phone for 25 million minutes, which is 48 years. Christian Omar Palma Gutierrez is a rapper who goes by the name QBA. He's in jail, accused of dissolving bodies of 3 female film students in acid. This is item number 44. We soon may wash our clothes with sound waves. The Sonic Soak is a portable device that hits dirty clothes with sound waves and cleans them right up. No water and detergent needed, so very environmentally friendly. Number 45. SoundCloud is super popular. 12 hours of music are uploaded to the site every minute. Number 46. 1 in 5 country music songs have some reference to alcohol. Number 47. The longest hymn in the world is entitled Hora Novemissa Pessima Sunt. It has 2,996 lines. Number 48. The longest national anthem in the world comes from Greece. It has 158 verses, And just for contrast, the shortest is the Japanese national anthem, which has just 4 lines. Number 49. Loud music affects how quickly you drink beer. According to a French study, a dude will drink a beer in an average of 15 minutes. But if you turn up the music, that same beer will go down in 12. And number 50. Termites love rock music. And the louder and heavier, the better. An Australian study says that termites will eat wood twice as fast if exposed to music like this.
Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit light into night. Take my hand.
We are in the home stretch. Here are the final 10 weird music facts for the year. Number 51. Can you name the only person to be nominated for a Grammy, a Golden Globe, an Oscar, and a Nobel Peace Prize? Bono. 52. The Doors were the first band to ever advertise the release of a new album on a billboard. It was erected in Los Angeles in 1967 for their self-titled debut record. Number 53. When an airport in Gloucestershire in the UK had a problem with birds on the runway, they solved that by blasting them with music from Tina Turner 24 hours a day. Problem solved. Number 54. The thinking music that we hear on Jeopardy was composed by Merv Griffin, the creator of the show. It was originally written as a lullaby for his son and was dashed off in about a minute. So far, it has made more than $70 million in royalties for the Griffin estate. Number 55. In 2018, Snoop Dogg had a #1 album on the gospel charts. It's called Bible of Love. Number 56. If we go to the Principality of Monaco on the Mediterranean coast, you'll find that there are more people in its symphony orchestra than in its army. Number 57. The Ramones have sold far more t-shirts worldwide than they ever sold albums. That's the power of merch, kids. Number 58. If you analyze the lyrics of all the songs to make it to #1 on the Billboard singles charts over the last 10 years, you'll see that they're at an average 3rd grade reading level. Number 59. Google had a private event for advertisers who spent over $100 million on the platform. About 40 people, 40, were entertained with a private set from Duran Duran. And number 60. If you're a non-musician, it's very rare to have dreams that contain music. Scientists say about 18% of regular people dream with music compared to 40% of those who play instruments. There, my desk is clean for another year, but the moment I start with the researching again, I know I'm going to find more weird stuff that I can't use for anything. At that point, it goes into a folder for the next episode of 60 mind-blowing facts about music in 60 minutes. And please, if you find something bizarre and useless, please let me know about it. I love this stuff. And judging from the number of emails I get when the podcast version of the show gets released, you do too. Speaking of podcasts, Ongoing History podcasts can be found on iTunes or wherever you get your on-demand audio. They are always free. You should subscribe, really. And if you can rate and review, we'd really appreciate that. Look for me on my website, which is ajournalofmusicalthings.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you need to reach me via email, use alan@alancross.ca. Technical productions by Rob Johnston. We'll talk to you next time. I'm Alan Cross.
You've been listening to the Ongoing History of New Music podcast with Alan Cross. Subscribe to the podcast through iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and everywhere you find your favorite podcasts.